Bienvenue, Architectural Digest. Come in. We specifically designed this chateau for Vanderpump Villa, the new show. But this is actually Chateau Rosabelle. The chateau was actually built in the late 19th century. And we're in the middle of the French countryside. What I love about Chateau Rosabelle is so much of it is covered in green, like an ivy, and it turns orange in the fall. It's got this majestic presence, which you need for a television show. In the aerial shots as well, you can see Carcassonne, the city, which is incredible. When I first found this chateau, one of the things that really excited me about it was the height of the ceilings. That was so essential to me to have the right kind of atmosphere. Big windows, lots of natural light. Now, the floor didn't look quite like this when we first got here because the color palette on the woodwork was very different. And as you know, the color of the surrounding walls changes the look of the floor. So if you look at the floor in here, it's got this really beautiful, soft pink hues. But when you look at it in there, the reception with the white and gray, it looks very different. So for me, I wanted to have the hall very welcoming. I wanted it to feel very dramatic. So we put in big chandeliers and then we put in these beautiful mirrored consoles. I really love lots of mirrors. And normally people shy away from that when it comes to filming because of reflections. I have just a brilliant DP who knows how to work around it. So we have lots of depth. I chose this beautiful pink paint by Farrow and Ball. It's called Sulking Pink. I love pink, but I don't like Barbie pink. I like sexy, blush, dirty pink, and this really fits in perfectly. These look really beautiful, fresh flowers, it's essential. And then we have a full-time florist to keep it looking sumptuous. Most people that have watched me on reality television for 15 years know I love flowers. I'm often down at the flower market. It's just absolutely a slice of heaven. Now remember, we only had 3 weeks to decorate the chateau, and one of the most exciting things for me was just having an abundance of flowers. We had this beautiful artwork painted on the wall. I think it's called a grotesque. I have no idea why they call it grotesque, but apparently that's the French word. I'm going to have to explain to you all the different places that I found the furniture. Some has been my own personal stuff. Some has actually come from a restaurant that I just closed. Some we borrowed from Parisian dealers. This is where our guests come and check in. And this is my office. Normally, if you come in here, it's when you're in trouble, but do come in. This is a beautiful old French desk that we actually got from a Parisian dealer. And this was a wonderful chair that we bought. I'm going to be taking with me. We recovered it in an old kind of lilac velvet. We actually found this velvet downtown in Los Angeles. It was something like $5 a yard. It's supposed to be a lot more, but it was like a scrap, so I nabbed it. Yes, puppy, you're not going to be barking at everybody that comes in here, are you? Are you? We've got a plethora of chandeliers. This is my tea set that I brought from Los Angeles. I brought many things with me. Here I'm very comfortable. It's funny because I keep imagining myself buying a chateau and living here permanently. These are old couches that we just actually covered, and then we put this damask on the wall. Now I work very closely with James McGowan, who is the production designer. So he had to execute everything and did a really terrific job in bringing it all to life in 2 or 3 weeks. There was a lot to undertake. It was very neutral. And I think we needed quite a neutral palette in here to really highlight flowers and the abundance of roses we had. I actually lived in France for quite a few years. I had a wonderful house in Cap d'Antibes that was owned by Jack Warner of Warner Brothers. And in fact, Mia Farrow and Frank Sinatra had their honeymoon there. Beautiful Art Deco house on the water. So I have a love affair with France. The chateau is Haussmann design. I think everybody's very familiar with that, especially if you love Paris. For me, this chateau is quite unusual here because there's a lot of more farmhouse style chateaus in this area in Carcassonne. If you look at pictures of Carcassonne, it's a fortified city and it feels very medieval. Whereas this is built much later. This is built in 1879, I think it is. So it's got that Haussmann style. And it was a style when, also things were quite eclectic. So things from different periods go very well in here. But you get a lot of natural light. You get this majestic style, which I really, really like. I'm not somebody that loves low ceilings, beams. Some people like that cozy thing, but I like to go for that kind of grand, taller ceilings, big curtains, big statements. I think that's one of the mistakes that people make when they're decorating, is not getting the proportion right. If you've got a big space, I say go big or go home. Then we have the bar. Scenics gave this kind of faux finish to this, but it works very well. And the back of the bar. And I really love this color in here.
I can do an espresso martini.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I love that.
I'm gonna get the coffee for you.
Perfect.
Do they have the coffee beans?
No,
Because we need espresso.
we have no coffee beans.
There are things that we have to work with, that are permanent. So we took a lot of inspiration from the multicolors in the floor. This is my favorite room, the dining room, because here we were trying to get this done in 3 weeks in August, and everybody knows nobody works in France in August. They're all in Saint-Tropez or Cannes at the beach. So we had quite a few struggles. These candle holders actually came out of my restaurant in Los Angeles. I've had them for years, but they give us a big, dramatic effect. So I brought those over as well. This mirror here, I actually also brought out of my restaurant in Los Angeles. It's very interesting, kind of Gothic, old piece. We really feel it opens it up. James, again, he found this wonderful artist that was working in Paris and did these kind of murals on the wall, which really add to it. And it was a great way of bringing life to a room that would otherwise be very plain. In this room, we have these very wonderful dinners. They're all kind of curated and bespoke experiences for the guests. We got a lot of the tableware, dishware, and things like that from flea markets here. Everything is bespoke and curated to the guest's dream. And it's just a mixture. But I'm all about that, mixing it up and keeping it fresh and putting it all together, and somehow it works. So outside we made a couple of bold design statements as well, and it works very well. Oh, I love this little business and pleasure umbrella. It feels very vintage, it's very sweet. But we totally redid the pool. James McGowan was here putting all the wood around the pool. The original pool we made into a petanque court because they'd actually filled it in. So we came up with all those beautiful sunbeds from Business and Pleasure. And then these here are our lights. This light is by Vanderpump Villa, and it's called the Duomo. And it's gorgeous. It goes outside, and we put 11 of them in the trees. We actually designed this chandelier for a restaurant that we opened in West Hollywood called Tom Tom. To have a chandelier that goes outside is unique. So upstairs we kept it fairly simple. As I said, time was of the essence. And we have one of our rooms here, fleur-de-lis. Can't tell you what goes on in here. You have to watch the show. Privacy is not really an option when you check into Chateau Rosabelle on this series, Vanderpump Villa, and our guests are well aware of that. We inform them. There's a camera. We'll kind of be recording their activities and extracurricular activities 24/7. Not every room is neutral, but this one definitely is, and I like the choice of wallpaper. It feels very calming. Each bedroom has a different theme, a different name, and it makes it simple to identify where people are. They each have their own identities: Sacre Bleu, the Violette, the Fleur de Lis. You can go around and see the names on the doors. You've got some amazing windows here and ceiling heights, wide corridors. I think it really sets itself up to be a really dramatic chateau. Design is one of the things I've just loved doing my whole life. Chateau Rosabelle's a lot of fun. It's got my touches everywhere. My name, Vanderpump, stamped all over it. That's the way I like it. Au revoir, Architectural Digest. À bientôt.